Big thank you to Ally and all our sponsors here for all their support in this space. And now to, I believe, our final panel. This is it. We're finishing strong. World-class athlete panel. Our first athlete is from the University of Oklahoma, where she was a record-setting softball player, two-time national champion, three-time first-team All-American, and she is the NCAA Division I career leader in home runs at 122. She was also drafted #1 in both women's professional fast pitch and Athletes Unlimited this past spring. And following her most recent NCAA championship in 2022, she won gold at the Canada Cup for Team USA. She is a total baller, and she's extra cool because she's from Hawaii. Give it up for Jocelyn Allo! Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, Joss. All right, next up, this athlete literally has excelled at every single level. A national champion while she was at college at University of North Carolina in 2012. She also won two NWSL titles with the North Carolina Courage, and literally just a couple days ago might have done the same thing with the Portland Thorns in her third title. Good rally to get here, because literally that was over the weekend. And she also won a little thing called a World Cup in 2019. And now to add to her long list of accolades, on the very top, she is mom to Marcel. Please welcome the one and only Crystal Dunn. Dunner! Okay. And finally, our next world-class athlete is an American professional mixed martial artist who competes in the bantamweight division of UFC, where she is the former UFC women's bantamweight champion. She was also the first woman to win the Ultimate Fighter. She had a baby girl in 2018 named Isabella. Took a 2-year break to be a mom, but she came back with a roar. In fact, beating Amanda Nunes in December of 2021, you might remember it, to win that UFC women's bantamweight title. Please welcome the Venezuelan vixen. That is her fighter name, Juliana Pena.
What's up, girl?
Hi, darling. Okay. Oh, you get your own couch, Juliana. Do you want me to join you over there? Was I supposed to be on that side?
No, this one's for me.
You're like, no, stay away. I've had too much time with you the last 3 days.
I know.
Okay, I used to start this panel with a fun fact, but given we have the Venezuelan vixen over here, I figured we're going to ditch the fun fact. We are going, what is your fighter name? Is that what you call it, your fighter name?
One thing that most people don't know about fighter names is you can't give them to yourself. Like, you have to be given the moniker.
Oh,
so
shut up. Why didn't you tell me that before the interview?
I didn't choose the Venezuelan vixen. My coach chose it for me because my dad's Venezuelan, and a vixen, I think, is like a pissed off, scorned woman, and so it kind of like fit. And so, yes, no, that's my fight name, but what about you girls?
Okay, well, you can choose your own name today.
I feel like, Julie, you should choose our names then for us.
Oh, no, Crystal, that's a bad idea. Do you have one, Crystal? What is your fighter name?
Gosh. I feel like my fighter name would have... Is my microphone?
Yeah, no. We got a mic issue over here.
Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me now, though? No?
Stand by. You're going to get a handheld. There you go.
Oh, good.
You can...
Entertainer at heart, so therefore this is very fitting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like my name would have to be something around... like C Dizzy. I don't know. I'm just like an entertainer at heart, you know? So I don't know. I don't have a good one, but I have one that would at least make people feel like, we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do in the cage. They have a good time after they beat the shit out of each other. Oh, God.
It's true.
Too early for me to be swearing.
Puts them in the swear jar.
C Dizzy.
C Dizzy.
I like it. What do we got, Joss?
So my middle name is actually Aloha Pumehana, and I think my fighter name would be the Pumehana Punisher.
Oh. Yes. Love that.
A little spicy.
Solid.
I like it.
Very much like the Venezuelan vixen. I was thinking mine could be like Rowdy Fowdy, but then I'm like, well, that's kind of boring because Rowdy Ronda Rousey, right?
Yeah, it's
that's
taken.
Like been taken. So my middle name is Maureen. So Julie Maureen Foudy. And on the national team, when they got mad at me, they called me J Mofo for Mo. So I'm going to be J Mofo.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
J Mofo, I like it.
I think it's good. Okay, the other thing we need to add, I feel like you're so far away. Juliana, come just a little closer. Come here. The other thing we need to add is we were trying this on the first night. You guys weren't here. I apologize.
Oh,
We
should
were-
we show them how it's done?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Shit. Oh, God.
Let's do it.
Okay. I called it the stare down. I learned that it's called
The face-off.
face off.
Yes.
So you know when they do this pre-fight? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
You guys, this
Yeah, I
is
love it. This is
Yeah.
why-
Intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So on the I think everyone should adopt this. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Ready?
So we were working on this first day, and I decided I cannot do it.
It's pretty good, but it needs some work.
Wait, we got to step in, right?
Oh, yeah, no.
How do you do
1,
that?
2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Girl. She's about to beat you up.
Wait, I need my glasses off. You have to see my eyes.
It's getting stronger, J Mofo, but it ain't gonna be good enough to beat me. I won.
That's my problem. The whole night, I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't.
She's like,
you want to try
That
it?
is intense.
You guys want it? I was
Face-off.
thinking we could do that at every game. Like every coin toss, when you go up as a captain, you start it by just like,
what's up?
could you do that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I have a bad game face, so I would be smiling the whole time. My game face would be
If you smile, that's a tell. That means you're not gonna do so well.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah.
It's true.
If you blink, you're losing.
What is the origin story of the face off?
I think that
face
it's
down.
basically just trying to get butts and seats, right? So like I think they need butts and seats, and if you show the real pent up aggression with each fighter, that people are going to be more interested to come and see them fight the next day. So I think it's just promotion.
Do we, Andy? Do we have the Issa pick of when you were doing the face off?
Yeah, that was weird because they asked me right before I was going out for the weigh-ins. They said, "Hey, Amanda's gonna bring her daughter on stage," and we were wondering if yeah, so sweet. We were wondering if you wanted to bring your daughter on stage too, and I said, "Say less. This chick's ready to go." Like,
at
she
Issa.
sees me practice all the time, so she knows what's up with the face-offs. It was
Has
so
she
sweet.
ever beat you in a face-off?
Never, never.
Okay, for the last couple days, we've been talking a lot about this upward trajectory and what feels like women's sports are in this really good space and everything is taking off. And the numbers are taking off, attendance, sponsorship, all of it. And so I figured we would go right to the source because we have all of you who are in the best in your sports. And why, particularly to your sport, Joss, we'll start with you, why you think it's taking off.
I think the game of softball is growing in the right ways. I think you see it with the viewership that we get at the World Series. You've seen it with AU, and they have their sponsorship with ESPN Plus. So now you get to watch softball year round. With the WPF, I know they've have live streams. So I think just the viewership of these people just want to continue to follow their favorite college athletes once they go pro. And it's just continuing to take off in the best direction possible. And I'm just excited to see not only how it goes for me, but how it goes for the girls that are in college now and how it's going to be for when they get to professional. I think it's going to be super great.
Yeah. And the numbers, are all supporting it. 2021 College World Series, most watched ever, right? 2022, fourth most watched ever. So we're seeing it in soccer, of course, Crystal. The CBS number for your final that just came in, most watched NWSL game in 10-year history of the entire league. 915,000 viewers, up 71% from last year.
Yeah.
And of course, we've seen it at the national team level at all. What do you attribute the spike to?
I think sponsors coming in and really looking at women's sports as a massive investment and not a charity case. I think for a long time, people didn't want to get involved in women's soccer because they were like, are you guys even profitable? Are we just going to throw money away and not kind of see anything come about? And I think that narrative has definitely changed where people want to get involved in women's sports. We are profitable. We are a massive investment that everyone can benefit from. And I think what's changed as well is I think women are banding together and not accepting just below standard quality. I think what you're seeing more is people are more aware of our games. They're streamed more. There's more accessibility to it. And I think that comes from women as a whole just being like, it's not good enough. We know and believe in our sport, and we know that we can reach new heights, but we need that chance. We need people to believe along with us, because I think, everyone who's been a female athlete even 10 years ago, it's like the belief was always there, but what you needed was the support, the resources to go into it. And I think that's a credit to women always fighting for what we properly think we deserve. And that's us just not settling and raising the bar even more. And there's obviously no better explanation than, just watching these games. The viewership is increasing, and I think it's incredible. And the trajectory is amazing, and it's just going to keep growing from there.
Yeah, I would even argue you go back to my old times of 20 years ago, not just 10 years ago. The belief always there, but we were like, water the damn garden. Please, give us some hydration.
Yes.
Throw us something.
Throw us a bone here. People will watch,
Yes.
and now we're seeing it. Juliana, what about with MMA and UFC?
I think the very first thing is the fact that women weren't allowed to fight in the UFC until 2013. So that's a big reason why I think that it's become a lot more popular, especially for young girls. I feel like fighting gives them that empowerment to let them have control of their own lives and be the captains of their own ships and say, hey, I can actually make money in this field, and people want to watch girl fights, and just the fact that they closed the doors off to us for so long and finally let us put our foot in the door and actually fight amongst the men too, I think is a main factor of why it's gotten so popular. I'll also say the aggressive global marketing that they have in the UFC, it's everywhere. It's all over the world. It's not just the United States.
Yeah.
It's international. I have fans reaching out to me from all parts of the world, letting me know that they're watching my fight, that they're in support of me. And I'm talking like the places that you wouldn't even expect, And lastly, I think that the fighting incentive bonus of, knocking out your opponent and getting $100,000 bonus at the end of the night for a performance of the night is also, if the fight's not going to motivate you, let the money motivate you. As a woman, to be able to make, that kind of money it's motivating.
Yeah, a nice little sweet pot at the end of it.
Right?
Well, yeah, it's based on your performance, obviously, but if you go out there and starch somebody or submit them in 30 seconds, you're getting a bonus for sure. Main events also, if you main event a card, you're getting a bonus. So I think that's also, the reason why it's become more popular. These girls now, these days in martial arts, are starting at such a young age, whereas, that wasn't possible when I was a kid because it was going to go nowhere because we weren't allowed to fight. Now that we are.
Well, when you talk about it just starting in 2013, I think of the pace of women's sports progression culturally is sloth-like, right? For even the more traditional sports of softball and soccer, for someone like you, Juliana, in that field where it is laden with a lot of testosterone in that cage.
Yes.
You had to then break through that as well, on top of the cultural sloth-like pace that is already there.
Well, and they say that, the women's fighting is like 10 years behind the men's fighting in terms of like women trying to catch up and learn how to wrestle and stuff like that. But, I think that the women's fights always steal the show. We're like mama bears, and we're going to defend our cubs. And I think that they are a lot more exciting, in my opinion. A woman is not going to quit, and she's definitely not going to stop. You're going to have to like literally kill her. And I think that men, it's easier for them to tap, or they get hit once and then they're done. Chicks, no, they're going to fight to the death, to the death, to the death.
Men, they're soft a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit hype after she said that. I'm ready to.
You ready to throw
I'm
down?
ready to do the
Not
face
you.
off. You could practice your face off.
Yeah.
It gets you into the mood right away. Another barrier broken, Crystal, is, of course, we were talking about it yesterday with Midge, and she was here, and Cindy Parlow. Congratulations, being a huge part of us getting to equal pay finally. After decades of fighting this fight. What was the team's reaction when you finally got it over the end line?
Relief, honestly, Jules, you and the 99ers are the ones that paved the way. You know, I think it's important that we will always acknowledge that us getting over the finish line isn't about the team currently. It's about those that were fighting this fight years before, who were asking for so much and asking for the standard to be risen. And I think, you know, I think on both sides, both the men's national team, the women's national team, we feel so much more unified than we've ever felt before. And I think that that is incredible, to feel like we are under one umbrella. I think it was hard to always feel like, you know, the slogan, oh, we're one team, one nation. I go, we cannot feel that way unless we feel like we are being treated like the men. And I think, you know, it was a long journey. It was worth it in the end. I think working closely with Cindy was incredible. We knew her position. We knew that she was obviously working her hardest to make sure that this gets done, and it's a win for everybody. And I think it's important we all realize that women are helping grow the pie, and we deserve bigger pieces of it. And I think for a long time we were playing this role where we were like, well, we're doing everything that's asked of us, but why are we not receiving what we know we deserve? And I think it is a win for everybody. And I think that's the feeling that we had when everyone was signing the document. We were like, we finally have come to this agreement and understanding that women deserve everything that we are asking for, and we deserve to be in the conversations of pushing and changing the barriers for the younger generation as well.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that, because Midge mentioned that yesterday as well. Like, there's this joy, of course, for the moment, but then she was like, but wait, we should have been here a long time ago. Wait, well, I don't want to celebrate too much. This is what we were always supposed to get.
Exactly.
For Jocelyn, for you guys, in terms of next frontier in softball and the impact something like this has on your sport as well, and women's sports in general, what is the next frontier, you think, for softball?
I think just for us, it's growing in a really good direction. And I think now with having two leagues being AU and WPF, girls after college don't really have to stress about trying to find a job or something, or they're like, dang, my playing days are over, you know? And that was the reality for some people. And I mean, besides like the national team, but now people can actually make a living off of softball, and it's incredible to see. And I remember looking in the mirror, I had my uniform on right before my professional debut, and I was like, wow, softball's really my job. And softball's really my job, and I just never thought that I would be able to do this, and to be able to help my family and do things of that nature. It's just incredible to see, and I'm just excited for what's to come, because I know that softball and women's sports in general is, like I said, moving in the right direction, and girls can now make this their job, and I'm just excited for what's to come.
Should we tell them what's to come for you?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
We've got some breaking news, party people.
So
Go on, Joss.
I actually just got traded to the Oklahoma City Sparks, and I'll be playing with them this summer, and I'm just so excited to be back home in the state of Oklahoma, and just to play in front of the best crowds. I'm beyond excited, and I know that with Tina and the Spark and WPF, this was a good move, and I'm like speechless. I'm so excited to be there.
Yes! That's awesome.
Thank
Congratulations. That's really cool. Juliana, what about in the MMA world? What's the next frontier for you all?
Oh my goodness. I think that we're main eventing. We are being put in the spotlight when it comes to these main event fights. So I feel like, we kind of have broken those barriers, where we've been in those slots for main events. For me, I think the biggest thing that we could do is kind of education and knowledge and about the sport, and kind of gearing it in a way that, more women can be a part of it. But it's not, Jules, that easy of a thing to try to get people lined up for, women especially, because, you got to get punched in the face and stuff. So that's one of the requirements. You got to know if you can get hit and punched in the face. And if you can't, maybe
I'm
fighting.
tapping out right
Yeah,
now, actually.
maybe fighting's
thanks.
not for you. But in other barriers, I think that could be broken is just women's self-defense. Women knowing
Yeah.
how to protect themselves and women knowing how to defend themselves in that type of situation. If we can get more education and knowledge to women in that way, I think that they would be a lot more open to going out to the bar and watching the fights on the Saturday night.
Yeah.
And that's what, as fighters, we want. We need more eyes on the sport. We need more people to watch.
I feel like the best ideas happen here at the summit, and we're going to add to that list, Laura. Juliana and I were talking on that note on the first night, right?
Yes.
And what did you suggest?
A self-defense workshop for the Women's in Sports Summit
Woo.
for next year.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, Juliana, let's do it.
I would love to
Not-
teach you.
let's.
I would love to teach y'all some stuff. Self-defense.
Yeah, by let's, I mean you, not me. I would love to
Break
learn.
the wrist, walk away. No, I'm kidding.
Wouldn't that be good?
No, I think it'd be fun.
I think it would be
Just
so
casually
good.
breaking a wrist.
Yeah. No, I was kidding. It was from Napoleon Dynamite. Break the wrist, you walk away. But no, I mean, there's moves. There's absolutely moves. And like I said, as far as empowering yourself, I'm not asking you to be a fighter and go get locked in the cage. I'm not asking you to do anything, actually, but I am saying that, as a mother, as a somebody who has a daughter, she has no choice but to be in self-defense and learn jujitsu, because I don't want her to fight, but I want her to learn how to defend herself. And I think it's so important. It gives her so much confidence and empowerment. And that's, kind of how I want to raise my daughter,
Yeah.
I will say on that note, I actually wrestled growing up,
Did you?
and I wrestled before I played softball, and I wrestled in high school, and I was actually looking back on old videos, and I just remember how much I loved looking at my muscles in the mirror, and just on video and stuff, and just how strong and confident I felt in in myself, and it just proves her point that we need to continue to learn these stuff.
Yeah, and it starts with us. It starts with them letting our foot in the door, and then it starts with the next generation and what I can do. And I'm raising that next generation. I'm hoping in the future that we can make it to be a thing where women get paid a ton of money to be cage fighters, or like we were saying, just giving that confidence and that empowerment to that younger generation to know. I'm not necessarily saying you got to be a fighter, but it's nice to know how to defend yourself, or walk down a scary dark alley and feel like, these people, I don't need to be worried about these people. These people need to be worried about me. You know what I mean? I'm the threat out here.
I'm just going to walk down dark alleys with you all the time. I got Juliana.
I got your back, Jules.
I know. I'm like, sister, let's do this together.
Yes.
As we take a step forward, and we've been taking those steps forward, we sometimes take a step backwards. And this is a topic we talked about as well yesterday, Crystal, but I'll bring it up as it relates to you. The Sally Yates report, of course, came out in early October. One of the coaches named, and there was a coach you're very familiar with. You played for his club program in New York growing up. You played for him professionally. Coach Paul Riley with North Carolina, won 2 titles with them at North Carolina, and now you play with the Thorns. He was a coach there before, and that was a big topic in the report, of course, was how the Thorns handled all of this. So when this report is coming out, I feel like I just have to ask you that question with all those connections to it. What was your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, when all this unfolded, it was a shock to me, to many. I think many of us spent a lot of time asking ourselves, could we have done something more? Could we have protected players more? And I think that doesn't go away. I think a lot of us feel like we are all a part of it in some way, and a part of the change moving forward. And I think playing under Paul, there was definitely instances in a sense where I felt like he was controlling, so that a lot of what has come out in the report, I'm shocked, but I also can understand how he's grown to be what he was. I think in the beginning stages of the league, there were people who were allowed to just consume a lot of power, and they weren't checked. They weren't challenged in any way. And I think when the report came out, it just shook the whole league, and I think it's important to realize that as players across the NWSL, we're all mourning, we're all grieving, we're all sharing the burden of the effects of the in the situation. And I think it's made the league come closer together. I think what's happened these last 2 years is, you know, even though as a player I'm playing against an opposition, like I think honestly at the end of the day, like when the game ends, it's kind of like we're just all in this together, you know. And I think it was this reckoning across the league, and I think now we're allowed to heal, and we're in a place where we can move forward and push for the appropriate changes that need to happen. And it's not easy. I think each day that goes by, you kind of feel like maybe a little bit lighter, but there's days that are hard, that are difficult. Something that brings you so much joy is also scarred and marked with a lot of trauma and a lot of moments that are not the most comfortable for us. So it's a day by day, a week by week. The season now has concluded, and I think we're all hoping that 2023 is this new, lighter year for us all to feel like, you know, we are going to move forward. We're not going to forget everything that's happened, obviously, but we are going to try to move and push our league in a better place where we no longer have these stories. These stories now belong in the past, and they're not going to be a part of our future. So, but it takes all of us. It's across all the league, and each organization needs to do a deep dive into their own situation. And I think that's the only way you move forward is accountability. And it might be uncomfortable. I think as players, it's always hard for us to go to our bosses and people who control our careers to say it's not good enough, we want better. But I think there's power in unity and a collectiveness, and I think that's what we learned these last 2 years is if we all ask for change together, there's no way that we can ever be you know, taken out or waive the feeling of being like, oh, am I going to have a job next year? So I think the collective and unity unification that we've had this last 2 years is actually what ultimately is going to propel us into a better future for us all.
And that collective voice of the players, which I felt for so long hadn't been heard. You're just fighting. And this is just not in women's soccer. I know we talk about this in so many different sports. You're fighting for, is someone listening to us? Is anyone hearing any of this? So on top of finally feeling like the players have a voice, hopefully, to your point, there's this reckoning, and with it comes better investment, building out procedures, policies, staffing, player protection, safety advocates, all these things that have been lacking and not in place. And beyond that, it's not just something, again, that hopefully is instilled in women's soccer, but it can be spread to other sports as well. So on a more uplifting note, let's turn to Jocelyn, one of my favorite moments of watching you with your incredible career. And I can't even imagine where this falls on your list of accolades, but this is a moment, we have video of it. Don't run it yet, I'll set it up just a little bit, but it was when you were in your home state of Hawaii on the verge of setting the home run record. You were at 95 home runs, which, by the way, had been set by one of your former Sooners, right? Lauren Chamberlain. She was at 95. And you're at home, and this happens. We'll roll this video.
The 2-0. There it goes! There it goes! Jocelyn Alo hits number 96 in her home state. This place is going crazy. There's a new home run queen in college softball, and she still resides in Norman, Oklahoma.
Dang.
And her name is Jocelyn Aloha Pumihana Alo. From the island to the prairie to the top of the home run charts.
Sister, you almost hit that like above the lights, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, take me to that moment.
I remember going into, I think it was the 6th inning, and Coach Gasso had mapped it out. Like, she was like, Riley Boone's going to get on, so-and-so's going to move her over, so-and-so's going to get on, and Jocelyn's going to do it right here. And she said that right before the inning, and I didn't hear any of it, but she told me after. And then I remember getting into the box and just it being like kind of a normal at-bat. I think the count was 2-0, and then I saw something good to hit, and off the bat, I knew it was gone, and it kind of just went silent in my head, so I had to, like, watch back on video what had actually happened. And I think it was top 2 best moments of my life. I haven't had a kid or got married yet, so we'll see where that goes after that. But
What was your first one?
Yeah, I was just going to say, wait, what? That's not the top?
it was my first home run. That at the World Series that my parents got to see. So both of them got to be there. My freshman year, I remember it was number 29. Yeah. But breaking the record was awesome, and doing it in my home state. And I remember Hawaii had only let 1,000 people in, but like the whole state wanted to come. So there was actually a parking lot out in left field, and there was people looking inside to just watch me make history. And every coach that had ever coached me in my life was there. Every family member that had never watched me play in person was there. All my grandparents were there, everything, and it was crazy. It was super crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
And in that moment, with all those people watching, which is a lot of pressure as well, I would imagine as well. But when you're in the box, the batter's box, what are you thinking?
Just keeping it simple, just trying to hit the ball hard. I think when you try to do too much, like trying to hit a home run, you find yourself a little less successful. So I was just trying to just stick to what I know, and if God wanted it to happen then he would have let it happen then. If he wanted it to happen earlier, he would have let it happen earlier. But I feel like my whole senior year was so storybook. You don't see a lot of things like that, and to break it out in my hometown, my last at bat ever at Marita Hines was a home run. All the accolades and stuff like that, and it was an awesome year. And I look back on videos now, and I got to actually see like someone's recording from where my dad was standing, and he was down the left field line, and he starts bawling, and he starts making his way towards me, and I pointed up at him whenever I was running in. So yeah, I was
Because
tipping my
Dad
hat
was
off.
the one who would throw to you all the time. Levi,
Yep.
right? Your dad?
Yeah, so he's been with me ever since I was 4 years old. That picture actually is where he would take me every day after work. I remember there's this one story. I was 4 years old, and I wasn't old enough to play t-ball yet, and my older sister had been able to play t-ball, and I was like, no, like I really want to play t-ball. And he was like, shut up, stop crying, like I'll take you to the park and we can hit all you want. And we would go, we'd hit 500 balls, pick them up, and my dog would be there. And at 4 years old, I wanted to just hit balls. So yeah, I don't know another 4-year-old that wants to hit softballs for fun.
And you were already crushing it over the lights at 4 years old, probably.
Yes.
And he's like, okay, this kid can play.
Yeah.
We're going to pitch more to her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. To do that in your home state, I mean, that's every athlete's dream. And to be able to do it, actually do it in your home state in front of all the people who helped you get there, I love it. I remember watching that moment going, wow, that is an athlete's dream right there. Juliana, similar to like this mindset when you get, soccer doesn't have a lot of closed moments, as I think like psychologists call it, like when you're standing over a ball to putt, you're in a box swinging, we're moving all the time, right? There's not a lot of closed moments. Yeah. But for you, Juliana, when you get in the cage, what's that mindset? Like, do you have like a routine you go to?
Well, I don't want to scare anybody because,
Yes, I love it. Scare
fighting
us.
is so primal and it's so weird because, whether you have actually gotten in a physical fight or you have wanted to punch somebody in the face, okay, most people can relate to any sort of fight, right?
Right.
I just decided to choose that for a living for some weird reason because, I'm crazy. But fighting is so primal and it's a life or death situation, in my opinion. And maybe I should not take it that seriously. But for me, it's like it's the different wins and losses. It's so important, and when you win, there's nothing like it. The world comes to you. And when you lose, the world's on top of you, and you just have to keep that mindset of being able to hold that world up and say, I'm still running this. It's a very difficult thing, number one, to get locked into the cage and to say it's just me and you, just me and you, and then you are okay. You're doing that now. Now you have to switch into killer mode and like literal killer, like you kill or be killed, you're going to eat or be eaten. And so that's a kind of dark and scary place to take your mind to, you know. And
Yeah.
I think that there's so much pressure that you put onto yourself and wanting to perform your best and to get that win and to get your hand raised at any and all cost. If I got to claw eyeballs out, I'm going to do it, you know, whatever I have to do to get my hand raised. And I'm kidding. I would never claw somebody's eyes out, but
Would you not?
I would not.
Okay.
I might bite, but I'm kidding. I would never bite. But I think that, yeah, when I'm walking in the tunnel and I'm going out there, it's almost as if I don't have a heart. If I did, it would be black. It's like, because I'm a serial killer, you know. In my head, I'm a literal killer. I'm coming to kill you. So it's a kind of a dark, scary place, but it's also kind of euphoric in a way, you know, because you can't hear anything. It's like there's the whole arena sold out. The place is roaring and you can't hear a thing. It's so weird. It's like,
Interesting.
yeah, you're so in the zone. And I will say that, you know, that tunnel vision of, you know, just seeing the goal and just visualizing getting that hand raised is kind of all where my head is at. I've already made peace with the fact that I'm going to live, or I've made peace with the fact that I'm going to die. And I've made peace with that before I get inside of there. That way I know that I have nothing to lose and I'm going to give it my all 110% no matter what, because I've already accepted the fact that I'm going to live or die, you know. And it's weird because I'm not actually living or dying, but in the sense you are, because you're going out there and you're literally putting blood, sweat, tears, every ounce of everything that you have in order to get your hand raised. And it's so serious, and maybe I need to speak to a psychologist so they can say, relax.
I feel like
Relax.
maybe you
have to
should
be
lie
that
down on that
serious.
couch, actually.
Yes, I know, I need to.
No,
Maybe
it's
it doesn't
worth it.
have
It's
to be
worth
that
it.
serious, you know, but for me it is. You know, I notice that about some people, where I need to maybe switch my mindset a little bit in terms of, there's people that can lose and then they'll go to the bar and they'll have a drink and they'll have a good time and they'll hang out with their family. No, I'm like,
Pissed.
I'm dead. Like, I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm like in a deep hole of depression. You know, the post-game blues is for real. Whether you win or lose, actually, you still kind of feel that you know, that onset of depression a little bit. I don't know what it is. Maybe if we talk to that one gal, we can figure out why I fight for real, and then I won't actually have to do this anymore. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, it's a passion of mine, and fighting is something I'm very
Did
passionate
you have a
about.
hard time getting to that space of acceptance of, like you said, it's almost this euphoric darkness of, okay, I'm in the ring and live or die? I mean, because that's a big shift.
It is.
How do you get there?
It is. You know, like I said, maybe I'm doing it wrong and I need to just relax a little bit and not take it so seriously. I'll say that my daughter helps me be able to not focus so much on the fight, you know what I mean? And so, like, instead of fight, which I don't know is necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. I think
No,
it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But that distraction during fight week, I think, is very helpful. But then it comes to the serious mode. And, you know, those face-offs help with those serious modes to say, like, this is real, this is happening, we're doing this, you know? It's no more games, no more BS, no more talking. It's like we're actually going to do what we signed up to do. And it's all over but the crime, you know? And I think that is easy to switch because, you know, as a combat athlete, you know that's all there is to it. It's mano y mano, or hermana y hermana, and you're going toe to toe, and may the best woman win. And I think that in itself is such a serious thing that you're going to get in that mindset real quick, you know? Because if you're not, then you're going to get eaten.
Yeah, that's interesting too about Isabella. Speaking of being a mom, Crystal, literally 5 months. I don't know if you guys saw this game. Let's go to your semifinal game. So obviously they just won, but to get there in the semifinal, it's tied 1-1. And Crystal is 5 months now post-pregnancy from having Marcel, her son. And she's on limited minutes. What are you on now? 30, about 40?
Man,
You're going up
Going
quickly.
up. I'm cruising.
You are
I
cruising.
think I got 60 in me, but
Yeah. Yeah, I got 60, Blacko. Come on.
Wait, 60 what? I'm sorry.
Minutes
60 minutes of what?
of playing.
Oh,
So,
like the whole time. You're
yeah,
playing
like
the whole
it's a
time.
90-minute game, but coming back from pregnancy, obviously, it's like you're working your minutes up and you're trying to get more minutes, more minutes. She comes into this game. We have this video as well. This is amazing. One of the best goals I've ever seen. Check this out. Let's give
Wow,
some
what a
audio.
goal.
Hold on, we're gonna have audio too. Do we have
I
audio?
wish there was sound.
Oh, Oh.
What a shot.
Do we have audio? No? Oh, damn. I'll be your audio. I'll commentate it. It comes back. Crystal's out of the top of the box. What? What?
What a shot.
I mean, those are like, to hit it that sweet. It's like, it rarely happens. And to do it in the semifinal and stoppage time, coming back and sending your team, after all that you guys have been through as well in Portland, sending it through, tell me about that one.
Well, I think to set the scene a little bit, that was a packed stadium. It was the second largest crowd in the playoffs in NWSL history. So, I mean, it was an incredible atmosphere to play in. And leading into that game, we, pleaded with the fans to show up. It's been tough for our club to have the fan support, the community support, obviously with everything going on. And I remember leading into the game, a lot of us were like, there might be only like 10 people here. We have no idea,
Right.
And I think
that's based on the Sally Yates report,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Just to get some context. Yep.
Yes. And I remember, game starts. I'm a little nervous. I'm like, it's a semifinal game. I think I'm going to go in. And the game was tight. So it's one of those moments where you're like, I want to help, but I would love to sub in when we're winning 3-0. That's a nicer, easier kind of transition into the game. But no, it's 1-1. My name is called. I'm subbing in. And just everything leading into that goal, we're speaking about being in the zone and deep focus. And I was so hyper-focused that game. And I knew, first of all, I've been here before where it's a semifinal game. It's you lose or you go home, So I think I got into the game just wanting to be my best version of myself for my teammates. For me, every time I step on the field, I don't think of myself as 5 months postpartum. I'm like, I'm an elite athlete. There's no excuses here. So I know when I subbed in, I was like, I'm going to fight for every ball, every tackle. I'm going to, bring something that's going to help this team, And I think when that goal happened, Jocelyn, you spoke about that initial silence. That's exactly what I heard. It was so many fans. I could see them cheering. I could see their hands raised, but I heard nothing. I saw my teammates running up to me. I didn't know what to do. I kept running. A part of me was also like, kill the time, celebrate for 10 more minutes so that we can all take a breather, And I think that goal meant so much to me. It was a goal that helped my team get into a final. It was a goal that made me feel like I'm back. I can do this. I think as women, when we come back from pregnancy, there's this doubt of, is my body going to be the same? Am I going to be able to reach the level that I was once at? And I think that goal allowed me to take a breather and have this relief of, Crystal, you're good. You're exactly where you need to be. And you being even here on this field available for this game is the achievement that I've always wanted throughout this year. So it's a massive goal. It was so big time for me personally, but for the team, all I could think about was I helped my team get into a final. Yeah. And that is the greatest thing ever.
Oh, so good. I honestly think if I had scored one like that, I would have run straight to the locker room and then like, peace out, I'm done. I'm done. It is not.
That's my career.
Yeah, that's good. I'm it. That's it. I ain't scoring anyone nicer than that. Oh my goodness. And here's the thing: if you don't know Crystal's career, like Crystal has played every single damn position out there, like literally outside back, every position on the back line, every position in midfield, every position up top. I mean, I think you probably could play goalkeeper, but maybe they haven't tried you there.
I think I'd get chipped from half field. Due to me being 5'2", probably not the best.
But and then you're put into this situation 5 months after having Marcel, and again, you just step up and crush it. So I did a little personal jig around the living room as I was watching that. That's congratulations. That's really cool. When you two specifically think as moms and the impact that's had on you as an athlete, how do you best describe that for both of you?
How do I best describe being a mom as an athlete? For me, there's more to fight for. I think before I would actually talk methodically before I had a kid about, I was fighting for my cub. I wasn't even a mom yet, but I'm like, I'm a mama bear fighting for my cub. Like, what cub? Like, what are you talking about? And then I finally had a baby, and I'm like, no, really, this is my cub, and this is who I'm fighting for. So I'm just trying to take food out of my kid's mouth, and it's my job to do everything that I can to make sure that I can provide for her, especially as a single mother, my job is to create a confidence in her so that she doesn't get, all impressed by somebody's dusty ass son and go right off into the sunset. And I want to give her that confidence. I want to give her that empowerment. I want to give her, that knowledge that, shoot, you can provide for yourself, you can be a woman, and you can be in a power of position. You can have your own financial stability, and you can provide for yourself and not have to depend on a man. And I think being able to show her that with what I'm doing and the example that I'm trying to show for her, and being the best role model that I could be, there's just so much more to fight for now that I become a mother. And I think that it means a lot more, to show her what never giving up can do, and having that relentless attitude of just not gonna stop, and I'm not going away, and I'm not gonna be deterred, and I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna cry, I'm gonna keep fighting for every square inch. And showing her that, I think, is powerful, and it's humbling, and it's an honor and a gift. And I thank God every single day for giving her to me as that gift, because she's awesome. And she's the star of my life. She really is.
Issa.
Yeah, she's super cool. Everyone says it about their kid, right? Oh, my kids are cool. They're like, my kid really is cool. Like, she really is. She's dope,
when
man.
you
honestly.
come back and do the self-defense class next year, you're bringing Issa the whole
She'll
time.
do it. Yeah, she'll show you some moves. She's got them.
Crystal?
I mean, that's incredible. I agree with everything you said. I think the perspective that you gain when you become a parent is a gift. I step on the field every day now, and I'm like, I'm playing for so much more. I don't hang on to the mistakes, the off days, the off trainings as long as I did before, because I get to come home to a happy, smiley, happy baby, and I think I am fighting, for his future. I'm always fighting to make sure that he is protected, and he's in this world where he can grow up confident, strong, and see his mom. I think, being the mother of a boy, men, it is a hard world for you all to live in now, and we are holding all men to the highest standard. And I think how I want to raise my son is to respect and appreciate women. And I think him being able to see his mom doing what she does, loving every single ounce of her career. And I think that's exactly what I was so happy to have gained as a mom, especially to a boy, is just for him to see his mom achieving her dream and working hard for everything. And I think it's just that new perspective that I look forward to. It's going to make me the best human being, mom possible, but it's also going to do so many great things for me as a professional soccer player. And I think that is a gift that you only experience when you are a mom, when you take on motherhood and you give this journey a ride.
Two of the best role models right there as moms, for sure. Last thing, because we're down to our final minute, real quickly, each of you, what do you want your legacy to be if you were to give it in one sentence?
I think I would want my legacy to be known as a really, really good teammate.
Oh,
That's great.
I like that, Jess.
Mine as well, but I think I'm already laying this groundwork is the versatility that I think I've been able to give this game for people to finally see that, you don't have to be just good at one thing. You can be versatile and really appreciate the game from different angles and perspectives. So I encourage young kids to not get set in being like, this is all that I can do. No, you could do many things, and it's okay to want to explore different positions and to add to your toolbox.
An analogy for life.
Yes.
Juliana?
Yeah, I think my legacy, what I would like it to be remembered as, is just pure heart and relentlessness. It's just that unwavering faith in your own self, and just knowing that you can do anything that you set your mind to, never giving up, and just being absolutely relentless, having that dog inside of you that says, I'm not going to stop. And I just want to be recognized for that type of heart.
You guys are three gifts, and I thank you so much, coming off of crazy seasons, crazy things happening, to spend the time with us and come here and join us has been fantastic. Jocelyn, Crystal, and Juliana.
Thank you.
Thanks, you three.
Thank you.